I'm Oh my God. I'm sorry.
It's a police shooting hard to imagine. A reasonable mistake or murder.
I was scared this person's apartment was going to hurt me. And I'm so sorry.
And a defendant who may not be what she seems.
I do believe that she is re-traumatizing the family.
On September 6, 2018, in Dallas, Texas, police officer Amber Guyger returns back to her apartment complex after a 13-hour shift. But she doesn't go to her unit on the 3rd floor. Instead, she ends up on the 4th floor.
Hi, this is an off-duty officer. I need EMS. I'm in number.
What's your address? What's going on?
I'm an off-duty officer. I thought it was in my apartment, and I shot a guy thinking it was my apartment.
Guyger claimed that she mistakenly thought she entered her apartment, when in reality, it was the home of her 26-year-old neighbor, Botham Jean.
I think there were signs that should have showed her that she was going to the wrong place. I mean, at the outset, when she walks up to the front door, there's a red doormat that is not her own. That should have been a signal. Not only that, but entering into the apartment, it very much looked like any other bachelor's apartment, or what you would expect in a bachelor's apartment to look like. There was an ironing board that was out. There were, pictures and hangings on the wall that presumably did not look like the things in her own home.
I thought it was my apartment. I need a need supervisor. Hey, bud. Come on.
Then there are other subtle signs. So the amount of time that it takes to navigate from one floor to the other. Something usually goes off in your mind. It's taking me a little bit longer than it normally does. And then further, you look at the totality of the mistakes, right? It may be all small things, but if it's 10 small things, at what point do you kind of wake up and understand that you're in the wrong place?
Investigators would conclude that at the time Guyger entered the unit, Jean was on the couch eating ice cream. Evidence would even suggest that Jean may have been in a cowering or ducking position when shot. So then why did Guyger shoot him? Although she failed to clearly state this on the 911 call, she later said she thought Jean was an intruder and her life was in danger. The investigation would show that Guyger had been sexting with her partner and occasional lover, Officer Martin Rivera, sending messages such as, "super horny today," and "want a touch?" In fact, Guyger was on the phone with Rivera as she pulled into her apartment complex.
She was certainly distracted, but distracted to a point where you would enter an apartment that was the wrong apartment, think that someone's an assailant, and kill them. That's quite a leap.
As Guyger excitedly tries to explain what happened, listen carefully to what she says.
You saw someone?
Yes, I thought it was my apartment. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Guyger's 911 call was very interesting. She seemed to be very focused on the consequence to her.
Okay, we have help on the way.
I know, but I'm going to lose my job. I thought it was my apartment. I could have sworn I parked on the 3rd floor.
Okay, I understand.
No. I thought it was my apartment.
She's not administering any CPR or anything like that when the officers arrived. There's no blood on her. She hadn't really touched him. Neither is she asking for any advice from the 911 officer or discussing what type of medical aid can be given in order to save his life.
Hey, bud, they're coming, bud. I'm sorry, man.
And why did you shoot Amber?
I was scared he was going to kill me.
Amber Guyger took the stand in her trial, and I think that was kind of a no-brainer. Quite often, we don't want defendants to take the stand. In this case, she had to. She had to tell her side of the story because the evidence was overwhelming.
I heard moving around inside my apartment.
What type of moving around?
Like loud shuffling, someone walking.
What did the figure do after you said, "Let me see your hands"?
He started coming towards me.
Did you hear anything as he was walking towards you?
There was a loud yell. He was yelling, "Hey, hey, hey," in an aggressive aggressive voice.
Okay.
The defense's case was entirely turned on whether her mistake was reasonable. If her mistake was reasonable, then everything that flowed from the mistake was just simply that, a mistake, and it was excusable.
Why did you fire?
So I was scared. I was scared this person in the apartment was going to hurt me. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
She absolutely showed a high level of remorse. It wasn't remorse just because she was going to go to jail. This was something that she didn't, an outcome that she didn't intend.
I feel like I don't deserve the chance to be with my family and friends. I wish he was the one with the gun that killed me. I never wanted to take an innocent person's life. And I am so sorry.
Her text messages reveal that she's definitely got some issues of bias, or at the very least, some type of insecurity about being around and or working with Black people.
The same jury that convicted Guyger now had to determine her sentence, which ranged from 5 to 99 years in prison. Their decision?
And assess the defendant's punishment at 10 years imprisonment in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
But the surprises wouldn't stop there. After the sentencing, Jean's brother Brant took the stand, and in an incredible twist, he asked for the court's permission to give Guyger a hug. At the time of this taping, Guyger has appealed her case, arguing she shouldn't have been convicted of murder. Rather, her legal team says she should either receive an acquittal or a conviction on the lower charge of criminally negligent homicide and be resentenced.
Maybe she gets resentenced to worse. I think the fact that she appeals on those grounds, that she believes that the conviction should be thrown out, is evidence that she is not repentant. And that she does not really feel sorry. And it really, draws some question to the tears that she shed in trial. I do believe that she is re-traumatizing the family, who is trying to move on with this, and showed a lot of grace and dignity towards Ms. Guyger, as if the mercy and or the grace that was shown to her was not good enough. And in some regards, it may be a tad shameful.